there's a lot of misunderstanding, there's a lot of lack of knowledge that's out there, and the more that we can educate the people who don't understand or don't have knowledge about the way we live and the way everything around us connects to who we are. Ignorance can be devastating to not only my culture but to any culture, and the more that people can educate themselves and bring awareness to and the reason and why it's important that we hunt seals or we hunt polar bears or we live close to nature, the better off everybody will be.
So residential school just about wiped out a lot of Inuit tradition and knowledge. It was purposely put out by the government to try to extinguish that. So my mom grew up in a residential school and wasn't able to learn throat singing, and it was almost a lost art. Throat singing is a friendly competition between women, and the whole point is to try to outlast the other person. And typically when somebody messes up, or you know, you look at the other person and you're laughing at their face, you end in laughter. Living in furs and traveling by dog sleds and living in igloos is kind of I think a fantasy that people have about what the Inuit life is like. That's often the biggest misconception.
This is my student.
Christina and Kavavau.
It's good working with kids too because they learn so fast. You would look at the stone and you would try and see what's inside the stone. The trick is let the stone tell you what is in there. Yeah, if you look, you'll find.
It's one of my favorite sea animals. It is my favorite sea animal. It's delicious. My big brother, he carved, but before that his father, my grandpa, he started carving, and I don't know if his dad was carving, and I always wanted to carve since then.
Christina, I'm sure she's hooked on carving. I'm sure she's going to be making a lot more carvings.
When my mom passed away, I needed to do something. When we went through her skins, seal skins, I thought maybe I should try teaching myself how to make comics, because I've always liked wearing the comics that she's made for me. I cut up pieces and sewed them together to make my very own design. I feel content, at peace, like I'm accomplishing something that's going to help me help the younger generations keep our culture alive. And I'm happy then.
I'm a hunter, I'm a trapper, I'm a gatherer, I spend time on the land, I'm a carver. I hunt polar bears and seals. I feed my family through my activities on the land. Just about 100% of my diet comes from what I gather on the land, so the land and the sea is very, very important. I teach youth to hunt, to carve, to live on the land. I can understand, because I'm a parent and a grandparent, I can understand what it is to struggle in today's world as a young Inuit. It always was a hard way of living. It was hard on your body. You never knew on times where your next meal was going to come from. You were disconnected to the rest of the world, and either you survived or you died. And that always was scary. It was a hard way of living. But today we have modern technology that makes life a lot easier, and quite honestly, I really like the life that we live now. If we get sick, we can go to a clinic. We can fly. There's good and there's bad, but I see that we have to maintain our culture through our old ways of living and our practices, but we also have to learn how to live in the new world too. I find it totally amazing when I learn about people in other parts of the world, the way that they live, and I think it makes me a better person at the end of the day, is to understand and not to be so critical, and not to be so eager to try to control or try to direct people with the way that somebody else wants them to live. We're quite capable of making our own decisions.